Good evening. Welcome to the City of Mableton City Council regular meeting. First and foremost, let us begin by entertaining a motion to come out of executive session.
I move to come out of executive session.
Second.
The motion has been properly made and seconded by Councilwoman Brown. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Well, again, welcome. And we'll begin by actually having Madam Clerk do the roll call. Oh, before that, we need to close the work session.
Yes, adjourn.
So the work session is officially closed. And now we'll have roll call.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to close the work session first?
I make a motion to close the work session.
Can I get a second? And the motion has been made and properly seconded by Councilman Ferguson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, now we will have the roll call by Madam
Call
Clerk.
to order.
Okay, Mayor Owens is not present. He's at the U.S. Mayor's Conference. So we have Mayor Pro Tem Ron Davis with us. Are you
I'm sorry,
present?
point of order. We need to call this meeting to order.
Okay.
Do that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, now let's go ahead and do the roll call. There you go.
Okay.
It's all yours, Madam Clerk.
Okay, I was having public comment cards coming in, and all right, we have Mayor Pro Tem Ron Davis,
Present.
Council Member of District 2, Honorable Michael McNeely, Council Member District 3, Honorable Keisha Jeffcoat,
Present.
Council Member District 4, Honorable Cassandra Brown,
Present.
Council Member of District 5, Honorable T.J. Ferguson,
Present.
and Council Member of District 6, Honorable Deborah Herndon.
Present.
Thank you, and we do have a quorum. So next, City Manager, would you do the honors of the invocation, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. If you are willing, please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we pause and acknowledge you. We give space to you. We look to you for wisdom over our council, that you would give them discretion, insight, discernment, and that they will make the decisions that's in the best interest of the city. We ask for your favor and blessings upon our public safety, all of our citizens, all our visitors, that you keep them safe. And we ask that this meeting will come forward with your blessing upon it, that it does the best things for the best reasons for our great city of Mableton. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And could we have a military veteran, Councilwoman Jeffcoat, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Everyone, please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we shall go to item 5, which is the approval of the agenda. The council has been afforded a copy of the agenda beforehand. If there are no amendments or changes proposed, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Second.
The motion has been made and properly seconded by Councilman Ferguson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. And the agenda has been approved. Next, item 6 is the oath of office to be administered to our re-elected District 6 Councilwoman Deborah Herndon by Mableton Municipal Court Judge Che A. Carrega II. The floor is yours. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, good.
You guys over there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. There may be some over there. There's some over here.
Do you want to use this one?
We'll just use this. How's that? Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and council members. The purpose of this agenda item is to request that you conduct a public hearing. The property, as it's been indicated, is being rezoned. The request is to rezone the property from R20 to, NRC. Sunday Adudu, who is our senior planner in the Planning and Zoning Division, will present a brief PowerPoint that will give you the background on this case. Just as a reminder, this is a public hearing. The applicant and those in favor will have 10 minutes to speak, and those who are in opposition will also have 10 minutes to speak. And then Mayor and Council will be allowed to have a discussion at that point. Thank you.
Good evening.
When he asks for support, you go up there. Do what? He'll call for opposition, then you go up there. You don't have to fill out.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, and good citizens of the city of Mableton, staff members. My name is Sunday Odudu. I'm the senior planner here at the city of Mableton, and today we're going to be reviewing the case, REZ 2025-009 at 6671 Mableton Parkway with case number Z 2025-009. The applicant is here today, Mr. Rendell and Mrs. Leonor Johnson, and they're requesting to rezone from a single-family residential R20 zoning district to a neighborhood retail commercial NRC zoning district to retain the commercial characteristics as well as features of the property. The property location is in 6671 Mableton Parkway, and acreage is 2.327. And this property is located in District 3. So the map shows the current zoning district, which is the R20 zoning district. And the star there shows the location of the property, with the future land use map showing medium density residential, NDR. And this is just the map showing the aerial photograph of the property. And another one showing the site imagery photo of the property. Brief history about this property is the property was built as a commercial structure in 1975, and the tax class provided by the Cobb County Tax Assessor's Office is C4. But was always zoned as R20 single-family residential. That's always been the zoning code. The Cobb County Fire Marshal's Office has provided a copy of the certificate of occupancy for the main building dated May 7, 1996 for a RS M5 construction type, which is a business occupancy for a hair salon. The business did not renew their license in 2023, as we have no evidence of that in our system. And in September 2024, a new applicant applied for a business license for a grocery store. Because of the zoning of the property, the application was denied, as we do not allow grocery stores in single-family residential zone districts. And the zoning ordinance states that non-conforming use is considered abandoned after 12 months. So this simply says the applicant has actually been using that facility as an air saloon as far back 1996 till, as we know, based on our evidence, 2023. And that has been so because of the grandfathered status, non-conforming status that the property has been enjoying. But once the applicant ceases to renew the business license within the space of 12 months, they lose that grandfathered status and the property becomes non-conforming. Or when they want to transfer that property to another property, the grandfather status do not allow transfer of business license to another applicant. So in that case, we had to deny the grocery store, and ever since then, they've said to put in a rezoning application in order to create that commercial feel and maintain the commercial characteristics of the property as seen from the site imagery photos. And with the information we have, staff have actually recommended denial of the rezoning application, as that is not in line with the future land use designation for the city. And however, given to the existing development characteristics of the site, staff recommends approval of a temporary land use permit subject to renewal every 2 years. Based on the applicant's request and the need for appropriate mitigation, the following revised stipulations as well as conditions are recommended to the Planning Commission for consideration and approval, and those recommendations are also going to be highlighted here today for City and Council to review.
I'm sorry, it's hard to hear in this room. It's just echoing. You said approval of a temporary land use, and what was the reason you said that?
We proposed the approval for a temporary land use because that is the most appropriate measure for us to take from a staff perspective as well as from a technical planning perspective. Because a temporary land use permit will give the applicant the opportunity to continue running a business on that property without changing the zoning characteristics of that area.
And is the expectation for them to eventually change that, or what happens after the 2 years exhausted?
So after the 2 years exhausted, they're always free to come back again to continue the application to renew the application for another temporary land use permit, and that's why it's temporary, because it's only provided for 2 years with conditions.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So listed are the planning recommendations that we're providing, which is the restriction of prohibited use, the development of an automobile-related business, gas stations, fueling stations, or similar automotive fuel dispensing facility shall be expressly prohibited on the property, notwithstanding any reference to gas stations in the applicant's materials. Limitation of commercial use. Commercial uses shall be limited strictly to neighborhood 7 retail and service establishments as outlined in the letter of intent, which include but are not limited to a hair salon, a barber shop, a nail shop, a beauty mart, office space, professional and administrative offices, or a mini-mart, non-alcohol sales. While the restrictions on intensive uses, uses that generate high traffic volume or operate with extended nighttime, like nightclubs, bars, high-volume drive-thrus, and car wash operations, shall also be prohibited to protect the adjacent residential properties. And we also looked at the site design and mitigation recommendations, which proposed that there should be a demolition of the front and rear canopies, as well as the removal of the existing billboard, which gives a time-bound expectations for the applicants. So the applicants shall demolish the front canopy structures within 2 years from the date of temporary land use permit is approved and adopted by the City Council, while the billboard located atop the canopy and the metal canopy shall be removed within 6 months from the date of the City Council approval. Failure to comply with this demolition and billboard removal and disposal of all associated debris within the specified time frame shall constitute a zoning violation and shall result in the automatic denial of any renewal of the temporary land use permit after 2 years when they come in to renew. While we also proposed enhanced buffering, which is a minimum 25-foot undisturbed vegetation buffer, shall be maintained or established along the entire western, northern, and eastern property lines where the parcels abut residential R20 single-family residential zoning, and the buffer shall be supplemented with opaque fencing, which includes solid wood or masonry, and an additional evergreen planting to achieve a visual screen of 6 feet in height, subject to staff approval. And other site design mitigations were recommended were light control. All exterior lighting shall be full cutoff type, directed downwards and away from adjacent residential properties. We're also creating access and circulation recommendations where the site shall utilize the existing access points from Mableton Parkway, and any other modifications to that site will require DOT oversight recommendations, as well as, and that is put in place to ensure a safe ingress and egress, especially concerning traffic on Mableton Parkway. We're also limiting hours of operation to 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday. And for the signage plan, for any signs to be put on the property, they would have to request a sign permit from the City of Mableton Department of Community Development for an approval before any signs get on that property. And we just have to put this Planning Commission's motion to amend the stipulations. So the Planning Commission actually approves all the stipulations and recommendations provided by staff, but they use their oversight powers to actually put more recommendations and stipulations to the already provided provisions that we provided from staff. Which is prohibition of automotive uses, used tire shops, automotive-related businesses, auto emission stations, CBD items, tobacco and vaping products, as well as gambling-related merchandise, vehicle repair facilities, and vehicle sales are also going to be prohibited on that site. And we're also looking at parking and maintenance, where prohibition of overnight parking not directly associated with the on-site commercial businesses is also prohibited on that site. And lastly, retail restrictions of prohibitions of tobacco and vape sales on that site. And those are the recommendations, additional recommendations provided by Planning Commission, as all the recommendations were approved by them. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we'll have the opportunity to hear from those who are in favor. You have 10 minutes. So all who are in favor of this, the floor is yours.
Is there an applicant to recognize first?
I'm sorry?
The applicant to be recognized first.
Oh, yes, the applicant needs to be recognized first. I'm sorry, I'm doing OJT right now, so y'all forgive me. Yes, and you are the applicant, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
I am one of them. My husband is over there.
Okay.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Leonie Johnson.
Can y'all hear?
Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear? Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Leonie Johnson, and my husband and I owned the property 6671 Mableton Parkway. We have used that building since 1995 as a hair salon. We operate there. It was a Christian-based hair salon. We had many friends. We had many customers from this county and outside of the county. As far as Alpharetta, we have clients to come to support our business. The property, when we purchased it from Marathon Oil Company, it was commercial. That's what we purchased, a commercial property. However, recently we found out that it was no longer zone commercial, it was an R20. I found that out last year. In the process before I found out, because my husband had an accident in 2022, a major accident that left him disabled, and I'm his personal caregiver now. And so we had to pull away from the building to care for him because I need my husband. So the business had to be put on hold. During that time, I renewed my license there for 2022, 2023. 2024, we did not renew. However, because El Supo was the contract we signed, they came to us in December. Once their background was cleared, we signed a contract in February of 2024. They applied for a license but was never able to get one because they found out that it's an R20. And I went to Cobb to do my own research to find out what was the problem, and so I was deferred to Mableton because now Mableton is I'm in the district of Mableton now, no longer Cobb. So, and I've been going through the process. I've always complied with Cobb County. We've never violated any laws. We've never had any crazy business there. It was, like I said, a Christian-based hair salon. And I have many clients who are friends now, dear friends of us, who came out to support us, would like to see the business, and we would love to go back there as a hair salon. However, not at this time, because I'm still working on getting my husband to be able to stand again. In order to do hair, he has to be able to stand. So I'm working on doing that. I was trying to get that building rented out to help me take care of him in the process, and the time to give him the time to be able to come back to our business. Because we love Mableton. We've been here since 1993. And we've always been a part of Mableton. We do not want to see Mableton look chaotic. We love what is going on. Some of the things we can scale back on, but it's okay. I'm not making the decision, but this is where my kids was raised. My grandkids are being raised here. So yes, I do want to see Mableton beautify. We have been told that we had to do some stipulation on the building. We've already started the buffering. We've already taken down part of a sign. We're not able to take down the billboard yet. However, that's a costly thing. It's hard to say what I want to put there, but what I do know I want to put there is something that will be lined up with our faith. I know I can't put a church there because our deed restricts us from putting anything residential or long-term living space. It's zoned only for commercial and residential, commercial and industrial according to my deed. And there are laws and stipulation that was put in the deed from the environmental group based on what was previously there. And so it's not a safe place for resident. In closing, I want to reiterate again, it's not going to be a gas station because my contract and our deed stipulate there can never be a gas station there again. It's not going to be an automotive business. It's not going to sell liquor because we don't drink liquor. We are Christian based. We're trying to establish something that in that area. We want to see it something that's beautify Mableton. We want it to be something that will bring, when people think of Mableton, they think of, wow, this is the corridor to Mableton. We have something here that invites us to Mableton. That's what I want to bring here. I thank you guys for taking the time into consideration. This is my home. We live and work here. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, do they need to restart that timer? Yeah, for the comments. Get back to 10.
Stop the timer.
Good evening. Excuse me. We have 4 minutes and 53 seconds now. Oh, okay. All
Mr.
right.
Mayor Pro
Thank
Tem, I think she's keeping the time by her phone. Let's
Yeah.
just clarify, we are maintaining the time. We're just not able to do it by that clock.
So don't disregard the 4:53.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'll ignore that for now. All right. Good evening. My name is Joyce Steele, and I'm a 30-year client and friend of the Johnson family, owners of the property on Mableton Parkway. I'm here advocating with my friend because the property has been in place. It's been placed in limbo due to two rules that conflict and that makes the property unusable under the current city zoning. The city zoning says R20 residential. The county tax assessor's office and water department says commercial, and the Superior Court deed says the land can be used only for industrial and commercial use. We must follow both, but that's not possible since they are conflicting. The problem is the city zoning allows only residential use, but the recorded deed permanently prohibits residential use and limits the property to commercial or industrial use. Because of this conflict, the property cannot be legally used as it is today. The property cannot be used residentially, the deed forbids it, and the property can't be used commercially, the city zoning forbids it. The ask is for the rezoning request to simply return the zoning back to the commercial and align the city's zoning with the existing deed restrictions so the property can be legally, appropriately, and responsibly used. Any future use would be limited, neighborhood appropriate, and subject to conditions regarding traffic, noise, lighting, and hours of operation. As you heard, they've already begun to implement the conditions that were recommended by the Planning Commission. Even if the county's zoning reflects residential, it appears the deed still forbids it unless the restriction is legally removed. This rezoning does not create additional impact. It resolves an existing legal mismatch and prevents the property from remaining unusable. We're not asking for an extension of use, just a correction that allows lawful use of the property. We're respectfully asking for approval. And and you heard Ms. Leone say that they did pay to have the renewal done in 2023. We have documentation that supports that, and we can provide that. So when you talk about a grandfather clause, if the grandfather clause was reneged because there was not a renewal, that needs to be explored a little bit further to make sure that that is absolutely correct. So we thank you all for listening, and we appreciate any support that we have. And anyone you can see who is here, who is in support of, we all have on red. It's very clear that she has a lot of support. There are a lot of other folks who could not make it tonight, but I promise you they would have been here. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more in support?
How y'all doing? My name is Theodore Bullard. I wasn't able to get in red because I had to come from work, but I just want to speak on behalf of this application. My sister been getting her hair done there for a while. Mother-in-law been getting her hair done there for a while. I just don't understand. I just want to speak on behalf saying that this business has been operating for over 3 decades in this location, and it's a significant financial burden being placed upon a family who has been running a family-owned business in this city for over 3 decades. And it's unfortunate that because of some specific stipulations that we have now, that you're trying to place a commercial location, which anybody who go by there can tell that that's commercial property, like with just a visible eye. I'm not a trained expert in zoning, but anybody with common sense know that's a commercial location. And for you to have it rezoned into a residential property, it's a violation of public trust in this situation. You have so many families that have been going over here getting their hair done and been operating in this location since the 90s. It's unfortunate that since Mableton has became a city that we now have this new stipulation that can cause this family this much harm. Somebody who's been in our community and been operating in this space for a long time. That's one of the only big billboards you see when you go by, when you're coming up Mableton Parkway. But I just wanted to speak on behalf and just let know just a regular resident here in Mableton. I think it's unfortunate that we have people that's been operating and supporting this community for all of these years and been paying their taxes to Cobb County for all of these years. Now we're going to go back and tell them to tear down a building that's been operating as a business, turn it into a residential space, and take down billboards that's been here longer than most of us been around in this location. So I just want to say I support them, and anything I can do to help, I want to help.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Ingrid Wells, and my sister bought that property and gave it to my grandson, or my nephew, I'm sorry. They've been operating for over 20 years, haven't had any violations, haven't had any problems. They've been there probably longer than some of the members of the staff, of the council. It makes no sense to send somebody back to council for 2 years. Every 2 years, it's already a hardship that they're going through trying to make him functional again. Why are you going to take away any possibility of them being able to rent it to anybody except those little, I can understand no vape shops. You don't want anything negative, but a grocery store, a retail store that sells things that help the community. We need more places where we can buy grocery. We need more places where we can have our people function. It's been commercial this long. It's probably a reason for a lot of people moving there. Is my time almost up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm
Well,
sorry.
That's my complaint, is that you guys need to give it to them permanently.
Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, just to make sure, the 10-minute timer started after the applicant, correct?
Yeah, it did.
Just want to make sure.
No, you include the time with the applicant. The 10 minutes is for the applicant and
I'm sorry,
comment.
It includes the time of
Okay.
the applicant speaking.
And council can extend time any time, but whatever you do for the in favor, you do it for the opposition also.
So we'll go next to those anyone who is in opposition to this. Oh, well, council, would you consider extending the time?
Were there others that were trying to speak to the
Speak to
affirmative?
in approval of? Yes.
So we would need to make a motion to do that?
Okay, well,
We have to make a
I make
motion.
okay. I'd like to entertain a motion to extend the time, let's say by 5 more minutes? Or 5 more minutes is good? Council? 5 more minutes?
I'd like to enter a motion to extend the time for both sides for 5 minutes.
Second.
The motion has been made and properly seconded by Councilwoman Brown. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. All right, you may proceed.
Oops. Good evening. I'm Denny Wilson, District 2. I moved to this area, Mableton, in 1981. That particular location was a starving Marvin. I lived in those apartments right across the street, which was called Woodcliff. So I don't know how it got changed to R20, because that starving Marvin was there all the way up until my children went to middle school at Lindley. So, I mean, I honestly don't know how it was changed to R20 when all of those years it was commercial. I remember when the hair salon came there, I think I went in and I spoke to your husband, and I remember telling him that it used to be a starving Marvin because we would catch our kids sneaking over there at night to get candy. And it had a mini gas station in front. So I guess we probably need to track back to see when, if and when the county did change it to R20 because of it being commercial back in those days. Now NRC, I've asked several people what were they planning to put there, and nobody could tell me. But you guys got to understand, NRC is a wide category, and it could be a number of things. So, you know, you got to define if it's going to be a hair salon. I mean, what are you going to put back there? But I support her in if they want to, you know, open a commercial development back there, I think it should be, but I advise you to go look in the county's archives because, again, that area should not be, it should not be R20. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in support?
How much time do we have? Okay, I won't be that long. I just wanted to be clear. Thank you for your time. I'm Alana Freeman, and I just want to stand in solidarity with Leona and her husband for this shop that has been there for many years. I personally have not gone to this salon, but my mother has gone there for many years. So I know that they have not only been great to my mom, but for sure great to this community, and great for their family to do what it needs to be done. So I stand here to support, even though I'm not there, to support them, and I hope and I ask that this committee would consider making it permanent so they can continue on to do what they need to do. I did, from what I could see, I did read some of the stipulations to come back in 2 years. Although it seems great, it will be a financial burden or cost to do all of those things, and to do that and then to come back in 2 years and potentially have a denial could be very costly. So I hope that this committee, and I ask that this committee consider a permanent change to commercial use.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sheila Edwards, District 3. I don't know the applicants, but I do know the location, having driven up and down Mableton Parkway. As a business owner, I believe that you should be allowed to do what you need to do with your business as long as it's conforming to our community. There's been a lot of discussions about improving the look and feel of Mableton Parkway and Veterans Memorial, and I think that if the applicant is in line with what we want to do with those areas, they should be allowed to do that. My other point is I'm concerned about the billboard, and I think you touched on that a little bit. But as you look to improve that space, what is the plans for the billboard? Because obviously it needs to also conform to what our community needs to look like. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, with that being said, anyone who is in opposition to, is time up? 56 seconds. You have 56 seconds? Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it?
Just saying that I don't know what happened with all the confusion here. I understand that they're saying that it was never zoned as commercial, but I myself have been to that salon, so I don't see how, that misunderstanding could happen. I do understand that she could continue the business. They could continue the business with the 2-year renewal for the permanent, this temporary land use, permit. But I would, say I rule in favor, or I would like to, for it to be permanently changed, so that way they don't have to go through that every 2 years. I don't understand how it's residential, but anyway, that's just what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's 22 seconds.
My name is Roosevelt Duncan. I'm in support of the family. You need to rezone that, leave it as it is as far as a permanent commercial siding. I've been knowing those people for years, and you can see I've got my head done there also. So it needs to work out. We need to work for them, not against them. They're good people. They'll do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now, is there anyone in opposition? All right, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, my name's Steve Young. I'm speaking on behalf of the Mableton Improvement Coalition Zoning Committee, and we recommend the what the Planning Commission has recommended as well. The use that the applicant proposes is appropriate for the area in that it's been there that way and it served the community very well. We have no doubt that the applicant is sincere in everything that they have proposed. The problem is you do not zone the applicant, you zone the property, and the property ownership could transfer to someone else whose motives are less than charitable, and at that point, the city will have absolutely no capabilities of mitigating anything that goes on. And NRC is a very intense use of the of the land, and although the applicant has not expressed any interest in an intense use, NRC is not, as I have stated, applicant bound, and therefore the LUP is a much better zoning because the applicant, you can track it along with the applicant. So we recommend that what the Planning Commission recommends be adopted. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Scott Starwitz. I'm the CFO and founder of the SAE School. Our school is located across the street, and we represent more than 400 families. We are in support of the Mableton Improvement Coalition in that we believe that there should be a denial for the rezoning, but an approval of the temporary land use permit with the following restrictions. As a representative of the school, our main concern is the safety of the children. Traffic on Mableton Parkway, as we've submitted on the traffic studies that we applied for when we were doing the school zone, the average speed on Mableton Parkway is 62 miles an hour. It's a 45-mile-an-hour zone. So we worry about the traffic flow, specifically at that intersection, to the extent that we even restrict our families from turning left just because of how dangerous it is going across the 5 lanes there. So that's why I wanted to just represent our school and say that we are in support of what the Planning Commission and Mableton Improvement Coalition recommend. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any others? In opposition? Okay, there being no more, council for discussion.
Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem. So I've had opportunity to speak to the applicant as well as some of the residents, including some members at the school, and it's true that the zoning has to be done by the land use and not the applicant, because obviously the applicant has great intentions, and we've heard from many people here. So I think that's just important to reiterate, because changing the zoning to that NRC, and one of the residents mentioned it, it's a very broad definition. So at any time, if the ownership were to change hands and the new owner decided to utilize the full definition of the rezoning, then we as a city could not do anything about that, because we would agree to permanently change the zoning to that new classification. That's, I think, what is appealing about being able to do the land use. Now, obviously, we've got to look at the character of the community. We've got to look in the best interest there. We've got to look at the applicant and the owner. And so it's very challenging because of the need to, under a land use permit, to have to come before the council every 2 years. Now, you would think if everything's going well with the business, the council would approve it and we continue, but by definition, that's not a guarantee. So I understand the concern there. And reviewing the recommendations, there's going to be a cost, whether it's rezoned or a land use permit. So there's going to be that cost if whoever comes there, and the owner of the business would have to be responsible with that, in consideration for anybody who wants to come and have the business. The canopy was mentioned, for example, and other things. And so I just want to make sure I put that out there, because in our role, we have tough decisions to make, and I want to make sure that we're fully talking about these things. And it's a tough consideration, but it's important that all these facts are played out and discussed and make that a part of the decision. I do have one question, though, because there was a reference to the deed, and I want to make sure we don't have an issue with the deed, because I didn't see anything about that mentioned in the plan, and the applicant mentioned it. So whoever's appropriate to address that, I'd like to hear about that, because as we go forward, whether it be making a decision tonight or at a later date, I want to make sure we cover all the bases for everyone involved.
So in regards to the deed, I'm sorry. So in regard to the deed, just based on Georgia law, according to Title 44, Chapter 5 of the 2020 Georgia Code, a deed can never override a zoning classification or ordinance. So irrespective of whatever is in that deed, the zoning ordinance takes precedence over that.
Okay, thank you.
It's clear that this property has been a commercial property, I believe, for, I've heard them say about 25 to 30 years. And so do we know any of the historical background on how this now is zoned at R20 and what transpired during that process?
It's my understanding, sorry, can you hear me? Yeah. It's my understanding this property actually has been zoned R20 back to the 70s, actually. So it's been quite a while. It was zoned that way in 1975, is my understanding. And so it's been operating under that zoning classification since then. When the city was created, the zoning didn't change. It was still R20. I've heard reference to C4, C3, some of those designations, and I want to be clear to you and to the public that those are classifications for the tax assessor's office. Those are the classifications they use to determine the property values, and then ultimately how to assess the property's property taxes for that. So they don't control the use on the property. They're just merely classification systems for determining property values and ultimately property taxes. So I hope that helps.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been R20 since the 70s. So this entire time, all the businesses that were operating there were operating there?
Quite possibly, yes.
So how can we have a gas station
in
an R20? And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, because you're going the same direction I am, so go ahead.
Yeah, so it was all these commercial properties. I've heard that there's issues with actually being able to turn on water, being able to do electricity, all those sort of things, because it's considered a commercial property, but it's zoned residential. So, and really the biggest concern that's out there is this lapse of time. So is it not our duty to allow, because, okay, so my concern is that we've got all these different stipulations, and they've got to agree to these or do these stipulations before they get that temporary land use. So they're not making any money whatsoever in this property, but we want them to go do a whole bunch of work to the property in order to get it a temporary land use for 2 years.
I'm sorry, Councilmember, that's incorrect. What we've done is we've given them a timeline. So they have 6 months to take out the billboard, and they have 2 years to take out the canopy. So that's more than enough timeline, because that's subject to the next renewal for the temporary land use permit, which is very fair.
So it says the billboard located atop the canopy and the metal canopy shall be removed within 6 months.
Correct. No,
So-
the canopy itself has a 2-year window. It's subject to renewal, but 6 months for
That's
the
not what this document
billboard.
says. That's not what this says. I just read it. It says the billboard located atop the canopy and the metal canopy shall be removed within 6 months from the date of city council approval and adoption of the temporary land use permit. Failure to complete the demolition, billboard removal, and disposal of all associated debris within the specified time frame shall constitute a zoning violation.
Yeah, there's
Blah,
a
blah, blah.
smaller metal canopy that is attached to the billboard. If we could take it down, you'll see it. What we're trying to explain here is,
So applicant shall demolish the front canopy structures within 2 years.
Yes.
That's expensive to do.
You need to go back to the.
Why can't we,
Okay, can you point out which?
Where it says L Super, like, what do you? So you have 2 other council members. We can't see what you're pointing at.
This is it. That's the billboard that we want taken out within 6 months, because it's non-conforming and there are no permits for that. Why the canopy is 2 years.
So who is operating that actual billboard? Because that billboard has been there since, I mean, that billboard's been there for years. Like, is that truly the applicant's issue, or is that Clear Channel Communications or whoever owns that billboard?
The billboard is located on the property of the applicant, so the applicant is liable for the billboard.
That wasn't my question. I said, who owns the billboard?
The applicant owns it because it's on their property.
Well, if I have a cell tower on the property of the Home Depot doesn't own the cell tower.
For you to own a cell tower, you have to have a lease portion of that property. So the owner of the cell tower owns the cell tower because he has a lease agreement.
Right. So we're saying the same thing.
There's
So
no lease agreement for the billboard, sir.
There's no lease agreement for the
We don't have any on our records, and I don't believe the applicants have any on their records, too.
So so that the billboard itself gets changed periodically, and the information that's on the billboard gets changed. Who goes and makes that change?
The applicants will have to answer that because the city of Mableton do not have any knowledge of any lease agreements or any billboard management in that property.
So do you know who actually operates the billboard?
Okay, the billboard is attached to the canopy, which attached to the property. So the whole property and everything existing on it belongs to us.
So then, do they come to you and say they want to change out the billboard?
This is the first time, this is the second time my husband rented it out. But it was always our name, our head of time hair salon was always on top of it. Because if you coming from Atlanta, you cannot see our building. And that's why, that's my understanding, that's why the billboard was there. You don't see that building until you get right up on that hill. Then the billboard shows you that this is a location that belongs to commercial.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I have two. I actually have 2 questions. Is there a way to rectify the conflict in the zoning? Because it seems unfair to the applicant to be what I deem to be, responsible for this conflict that's going on. Is there a way to do that? And my second question is, the 2-year renewal, why was 2 years chosen versus 4 or 8 or whatever? And actually, I think I have a third question. Sorry, I'm just putting it all out there. And this is where maybe my ignorance when it comes to zoning may show. But is there a way to keep the zoning so that it works for the current applicant, but then maybe put in other stipulations if a new owner takes over, so that way the current applicant can continue running things as they are without having to come in every 2 years and renew? But then if someone else, if they decide to sell the property to someone else, then they would have, I don't know, another.
Technically, those are legal questions. The City of Mableton staff and Community Development Department, we only follow the guidelines of the future land use plan and the current zoning. We do not provide recommendations outside the scope of what we're provided to work with. And I'll just yield to the city manager. I believe he wants to answer one of those questions.
Yes, it's worth saying to the council. Staff is obligated by ordinances and zonings that you all have voted on. They can't change on their own discretion the land use maps. So when they come up, their recommendations is in compliance with what you or the city has adopted. You adopt certain standards so you can achieve certain results in a community. They follow that. Doesn't mean that they have a personal attachment for or against. They're going to come up here and present exactly what has been approved. You have a planning commission that can give more of a human perspective and then give their input. So I think sometimes y'all are asking staff to make changes that have to be, that's what I'm hearing. Or asking, can it be made? And the answer is yes, but it would have to happen at the ordinance or the land use level, not at their level. And they have the right to give a temporary use permit without rezoning the use. But when you want to know if we can change the zoning, that would happen at your level. And so I think I've heard some people say, what can we do to get the zoning right? Or what can we, and so they're doing their best to speak and answer questions, but I want to be careful to not put staff in a position that it is their authority to change land use. That falls on the council.
So I wanted to make a recommendation if possible, because it sounds like we have a lot more discussion that needs to be had, and if it's possible for us to defer this item, that's my ask. I can make a motion.
Yes, we can defer it if council chooses to defer.
Mayor Pro Tem.
I would say if that's certainly your prerogative to do that, but if we could have some specific
right to what
guidelines
end?
on what we should, what's the goal during this deferment period?
I think the goal is to get additional understanding around the historical aspect of it, but you're saying that it's always been R20, but it's been operating as businesses have been in and out of that location up until the salon was there. And it just sounds like we have a lot more discussion around this item. And so since we haven't come to a decision per se, I think it would be in our best interest that we defer it, have more conversations around it, and then maybe potentially look at having it as an agenda item at the next meeting possibly.
And I really tend to agree simply because, and I do understand each position, I really do. What we're talking about taking the consideration of our residents in hand. This is something that affects the life and the lives of a resident, that I think it does deserve a bit more consideration. We should take a deeper look at it, because I too am kind of confused as to why a resident, a building that was zoned one thing, used for another, and now, we have this going on. And, of course, I wasn't here in the 70s. I was in high school, so I don't. But in the interest of I think at this point fairness and considering a resident and that's been here for a long time, and I'm not saying that we're making any special consideration or anything like that, or this become a habit, but this to me, it sounds like an extenuating circumstance. And I would be in favor of, having more consideration of this. I really would.
So, Pro Tem, if I could, could you all speak briefly to the category that's being proposed, so that people have a better understanding of what that can mean if it's rezoned? Because again, You have to think about the land and who has it at any given time, and where we're trying to go regarding the land use going forward, future land use. Could you speak briefly to that for some perspective for everyone?
So the property has been proposed to be rezoned to a neighborhood retail commercial, which is a mixed-use commercial kind of feel, where the applicants will have the permitted right by permission to do gas stations, to do high-intensive housing apartment complexes if they choose to, or do high commercial properties, commercially based properties like automobile-related properties on the NRC, and that may or may not affect the environmental conditions in that area as well as the residential feel in that area. What we're seeing is less than 0.5 acres developed and built. We have over 1.5 acres at the back, which is abutting residential districts that we can't see on the map. And that is the real concern at the moment. So there's so many potential options for the applicants in the future, but for now, just based on our zoning code and the future land use, we can't rezone it to NRC because it's not applicable for the future land use, which is medium density residential in the area.
So I have a question about the, if I heard correctly, that this has always been zoned residential, but by the county, but at the same time, the county was taxing them as a commercial property. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so now, I, am not hardly an expert here, but I would assume that a commercial property is probably taxed at another level than a residential property?
Yes, but if you look at the corridor of that Mableton Parkway, all properties, be it residential, commercial, are all in the C4 class. Even the residential properties are taxed C4 too.
Okay, well, I guess where I'm headed is that it's, all this time has been commercial, right? And so.
Sorry, ma'am, all this time it's been residential, operating as a non-conforming.
Okay, so there was some exception then given, it sounds like.
Based on what we have in our records, there were no exceptions, there were no zoning petitions, no conditions, no other business applications on that property. Okay. It has no stipulations. It's been R20, and it still remains R20.
Well, but my point being, I think I heard Ms. Denny, I heard a number of people say that it operated as a commercial property. These individuals operated it as a commercial property, and so to me, there's some kind of inherent conflict that I would like for us to look at as a council to how we could cure that in some type of way that would work for the applicants who are, obviously longtime Mableton residents, small business. We want to support our small businesses. At the same time, I'm absolutely a proponent of moving us forward, getting Mableton Parkway looking the way that I believe all of us would like for it to look. But is there some middle ground that we can reach that would not require them? I know you're going to take me to the 2-year.
I want to yield to the legal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, if I could make a recommendation here. My recommendation would be, it sounds like there was concern about being able to extend the period of time for the applicant so it's not so burdensome. So pursuant to Section 503, subsection 3 of your zoning code, it says the mayor and council may grant special use permits for any period of time in their discretion. So my recommendation would be to approve tonight for 4 years and then give staff during that period the opportunity to look at the area holistically and its compatibility with your zoning code and your comprehensive plan.
Well, and if I may, that seems to be the crux, because for the landowner, 2 years is a really quick turnaround to make determinations and to get somebody to come in and have a successful business. So if we're able to do that, I would think that helps everyone involved, so that the business owner, the landowner has what they need, and the residents that have concerns also are having needs met.
I mean, I'm for that as well.
Yeah.
I think that's a nice median.
So the motion would be approval of staff's recommendation with the modification that the permission to operate will be extended to 4 years and not 2 years.
Okay, so I'd like to entertain that motion.
So,
I'm sorry, I thought there was another motion on the floor for deferment.
Susan, I didn't really make a motion. I just was just throwing it out there, yeah.
Okay, well, City Attorney, then we should make a motion
Well, she's just making a recommendation. We have to make the motion.
Yeah, to approve staff recommendation subject to the allowance being for 4 years and not 2 years.
Okay.
I'm sorry, is the applicant allowed at this point to say anything else? Is the applicant allowed to say anything else at this point?
Yeah, you can give the applicant the opportunity to comment.
On January 8th, I submit because the Planning Commission didn't really pull my deed to the property. I went and got the deed myself at the Superior Court record, and I submitted to them. I'm not sure if the lawyers, the city lawyer have taken a look at it or anyone else have looked at it, but I submitted, it's a binding contract, and it has a lot of stipulation in here. It's a lot of restriction in here based on the environment groups that came there. I don't know if you guys have seen my deed or not. I have 7 copies I can hand out, but it's here. It's here, it's always been here. We got this deed in 2003. How could the property been residential then, when we purchased the building in 2003? How? How were we not informed then when we were signing off? Because we were there in 1995, operating. But we were able to purchase the land from Marathon Oil Company in 2003. The deed says commercial and industrial uses, and it forbid any changes to the cement on there because of the chemical that's there and the well that's there. There are at least 3 or 4 environmental groups that restrict this property from being changed or altered. Our intention is not to develop the back of the building. This property is going to stay in my family. This is our legacy. A wise man leave an inheritance for their children and their children's children. This is what I want to do for my family. I have a copy of my deeds if you want to take a look at it for further investigation.
Recommendation or defer, that's the only thing we got.
I appreciate all those that spoke for the property in addition to some that addressed the concerns of the school. I still would like to make a motion to defer this item until the next meeting.
I second that motion.
Yeah, the motion has been made and properly seconded by Councilman Ferguson. Council, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Okay. Next, we'll go to item B, that's REZ-2025010.
They're just asking to withdraw this.
Director Hughes, you have the floor.
Yeah. Once again, my name is Sunday Odudu, the senior planner here at the City of Mableton, and the case number for this is Z2025-010, and the applicant is Mr. Joselio Cruz. The request is for zoning from a single-family residential R20 to a low-rise office LRO for the development of an office building. The property is located in 3710 Cedar Drive, Southwest Mableton, Georgia, 30126, and the acreage is 0.576. This is located in District 6, and the applicant has chosen to withdraw without prejudice his application.
Thank you. Well, next we'll go to item 7C, that is 2025-008. And again, Director Hughes, you're up.
Okay.
So you have the floor.
So this is case number REZ 2025-008, and the applicant is Ms. Mawanis Global LLC. And the applicant is requesting to rezone from single-family residential R20 to neighborhood retail commercial NRC for the development of a convenience store with fuel pumps. The property is located in 5080 Brookwood Drive, and the acreage is 1.9. This is located in District 5, and the applicant is also requested to withdraw without prejudice.
Thank you. Well, next we'll go to item 7D.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Before you go to your next item, if we could get a motion for items B and C, accepting their withdrawal requests.
Okay.
That would be appreciated.
All right, forgive me. Well, I'd like to entertain a motion to, regarding items B and C, to accept their withdrawal.
For the city clerk, I don't know if those need to be done separately or
together?
Or together. Does it matter? It's separate.
Okay.
Yeah, if we could.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to accept the withdrawal for item 7B.
I make a motion to accept the withdrawal for item 7B, REZ 2025-010.
Second.
All right, the motion has been made and properly seconded by Councilman McNeely. Council, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Next, case REZ 2025-008. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the request for withdrawal.
I'll make that motion to.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It has been made and properly seconded by Councilwoman Jeffcoat. Council, all in favor?
Excuse me, can we have discussion?
Oh, yeah, yes, we can.
My question is why did we put this in the agenda as without prejudice?
That was the request. My understanding, you don't have to accept it that way. You can just accept the withdrawal request, and you don't have to approve the without prejudice.
Right, because as I'm reading the document from E&A Engineering, they don't mention the without prejudice. We have decided to withdraw our current proposal.
So I would leave the without prejudice portion out.
So I know that we have a motion on the floor. However, I think we need to
amend it. All right. Okay, well.
All right. So then I made the motion. So I'll make the motion again with the change to removing the language to withdraw without prejudice.
Yes, can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion has been made and properly seconded by Councilwoman Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. All right, well, next is item 7D, case TLUP 2005-004, and
these are just, yes, sir, these are just for, the next two items are just information. The first one, TLUP 2005-44, the item is going to be held because of the lack of advertising, public advertising and posting for the property, and some other requirements. So staff is requesting we hold that item. And if we can, I'll go to the next item, item E, REZ 2025-006. That application has been deferred by the Planning Commission, and that will be brought back to you at a later date.
all right.
Okay.
Okay. Well, regarding item 7D, I'd like to entertain a motion to hold that item for the time being. Is there any discussion?
Make a motion to hold item D for a later date.
Second.
The motion has been made and properly seconded by Councilwoman Brown. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Next is that is 7E, REZ 2025-006. I'd like to entertain a motion for the deferral of this item to a later date. Is there any discussion?
Motion to defer item 7E for a later date.
A second.
All right, well, the motion has been made and properly seconded by Councilwoman Herndon. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we'll go on to, are there any presentations, acknowledgements, or proclamations? Seeing that there are none, there's item 9, no appointments.
Thank you.
Next, we go to item 10, which is public comments. And Madam City Clerk, can you set down the House rules for public comments?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, I have a good many public comments, and I have one handout that I'll bring to you shortly. The first person is Patricia Burns. Just want to remind you there's a 2-minute time limit. Patricia Burns, and following Patricia Burns, go ahead, is Monica Delancey. So Monica, be ready after Ms. Burns. And then Denny Wilson will be after Monica Delancey. And then I have a good many more after those three.
All right. And please state your name and what district you're from.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Pat Burns. The greatness of a nation is not measured by whom it casts out, but by whom it gathers in. Those are the opening words in an op-ed by Minneapolis suburban mayor James Hovland. The Edina mayor recently wrote in support of immigrants for the Minneapolis Star and Tribune. I'm from Minnesota. Lately, my heart is there, grieving the shooting deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preth, a VA nurse. Renee Good died on Portland Avenue, a street I know well. I worked on Portland Avenue. Plus, I'm a retired RN, and part of my training was at a VA hospital. Closer to home, our fellow suburban neighbor, Mayor Brian Mock of Chamblee, has written condemning the brutality of the ICE masked agents. I have 2 asks. I'm asking each of you, including the mayor, to write op-eds for the AJC and MDJ, standing up for the people whose work makes Mapleton growth possible. The second is I'm asking Mapleton to pass a resolution to keep ICE out of our community and support our immigrant friends and neighbors. This is about who we are as a city and who we choose to gather in. History has its eyes on us.
Thank you.
Okay, she's doing it.
Good evening, Monica Delancey. We thrive on Riverside Rental Association. First, I'd like to congratulate Ms. Deborah Herndon for being reelected District 6 and sworn in. Also, I'd like to congratulate Councilman McNeely and Councilman Davis for a wonderful town hall meeting last night. I got a favorable report. About 5 different people had to give me a report. We had to listen to it till about 12 o'clock last night, but they wanted to make sure I knew they were there. And, but I do want to say this, that there are 3 apartment complexes on Riverside Parkway that's in District 2 that have filed 50 evictions on residents for non-payment of rent, which for the past 2 years, these apartments did not request rent from these residents, okay? And also, in the past 10 years that we've documented since 2018, these apartments have been sold over and over again, management companies coming in and out, and also have a history of not rehabbing and not keeping their apartment complex up to code. I do want to reference that we've only been a city for 2 years. So yes, when it was on the Cobb County, in 2018, God rest his soul, Chairman Mike Boyce came over to the property and he had a discussion with the owners then and said, hey, we cannot allow this in our community. And Mr. Murphy was part as well. Chairman Mike Boyce was able to go and negotiate a favorable plan to keep people housed, okay? And also a favorable plan for maintenance to be done on these properties, okay? And at the time, Chairwoman Cooper was our commissioner. That is my time. My daughter told me 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Following Ms. Wilson, we have Phil Barnett, and then we'll have Michelle Perry Walthour.
Good evening. Good evening. You know, there's a lot of things that we can disagree on, and all of us have our own opinion as to what should be and what shouldn't be. But the one thing that we can agree upon is there's a lot of us in this room that love our community. And we will stand up for our community, and we will do whatever it takes to make our community a better place to live. So I come to you tonight for the homeless community, because I've been going out, I've been checking on them, I've been making sure they're okay, making sure they have food, making sure they have blankets. So I come to you tonight because what I would love for you to do is I have this warming, and it looks like a piece of paper, but it's a warming blanket that the homeless people can use. And even outside of that, I have a sleeping bag, which is a warming sleeping bag that they can bundle up in. And even though we cannot provide them shelter, we can provide them some equipment so that they can stay warm. Now, what I would like to see everybody in this room do, Family Life Restoration Center has provided me with about 50 of these, but we need more because we've got homeless people all over this city. I mean, we lay in our warm homes, our warm beds. We can go to our refrigerator and get our food. We can watch our TV. These people can't. So what I would like to challenge you tonight to do is I have a barcode. And I would like for you guys to scan this barcode for Family Life Restoration Center Cash App account so that we can buy more blankets and we can buy more sleeping bags so that we can go out and make sure that these homeless people have at least some warmth in their life. We may not be able to take care of all of them, but we can make a dent in this. So I can put this on the table, I'll put it wherever and make sure you guys scan it. And you can buy however many you want. That's fine. Okay? Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. TJ wanted me to say how much they are. If you go to Walmart, they have a set of 2 for $7.25. They have a set of 4 for $17.47. For the emergency sleeping bag, for the thermal blankets, there's 12 in a pack for $12.99. So if anybody wants to scan the barcode, I have it here. And you can donate however many you want to Family Life, okay? But let's get these people some warmth in their lives, okay?
Thank you.
Phil Barnett, and then we have Michelle Perry Walthour.
Phil Barnett, District 1. Last night, I guess you guys got the message, right? But nobody joined me outside to have that nice, cozy, warm snuggle, right? So you should have showed up because you're the leadership, but you didn't. So now you got Denny over here telling you what to do, So again, I'm going to tell you what to do. You got family life.
I'm sorry, they can barely hear you. You can speak
All
up,
right,
yeah.
so listen up. You have Denny telling you what to do, because she's been here the longest. I vouch for what she's saying. Family life over there is in the corner, so now's your opportunity to talk to them. You don't got to go through me, right? These are the folks that's holding down Mableton, Cobb County for 19 years, and you guys are not doing anything. And I'm not blaming you, I'm just telling you what you're not doing. But if we take her lead, that's resolving some of the issues. But I think City Council, you know the right thing to do by default. You have to do it now. Because I used to work for Cobb County, and they said I'm never going to work in the county again. Now you guys are going to work for me, right? And this is, before it gets crazy, I advise you to take care of your folks that's been taking care of you. You don't know because you're not in the mix of it. And I get you elected officials, but taxpayers run the show by default. So how much money? 27 seconds. So District 1 is your pathway to success, because it's been neglected for like 15, 20 years. But I'll reach out to Monique and Lisa to help you guys out. But you 5, you can make the difference, and it's going to work in your benefit. So FLRC, that's who you need to support right now.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and council members. My name is Michelle Perry Walthour, and I've been a resident of Cobb County for over 30 years now, and I've also been friends and a customer and client with the Johnson families at 6671 Mableton Parkway for over 30 years as well. But I just have a question about this, because I went with the Johnsons when they went to the Cobb County Superior Court to get their paperwork, and they wanted to get confirmation on what their property was, and it was deemed commercial. And they said that they explained to them, but City of Mableton is saying that it's R. So I'm sitting here a little bit in awe tonight to hear this gentleman say that this property has always been R20. So I would just like for them to produce something to the Johnson family that shows that it has always been that, because Cobb County is like, no, as far as we're concerned. So if City of Mableton is superseding with Cobb County, or somebody needs to really get to the bottom of that, to clarify that for them. And the other thing that came to my mind when I was coming here, and maybe the zoning gentleman can answer this question, if there was a rezoning for that area at 6671 Mableton Parkway, where I come from, and I've been on HOA boards for quite a while now, when they're doing rezoning, they post zoning notices, and those yellow zoning notices, they take pictures of them, and they have a time frame on that. So was that something that was done in that area that they needed to be aware of, or because they have never seen any? So is that something that was done on Mableton Parkway, around that area, that was done that they need to be aware of? Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Joe Lehman, and then Sheila Edwards.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, and fellow community members. My name is Joe Lehman, a regional manager for the South Cobb region of the Cobb County Public Library System, and I live in District 1. Just have a few announcements tonight. The AARP Foundation Tax Aid Volunteers will provide free tax preparation at 6 Cobb County libraries, including South Cobb. Services provided by appointment only, and the online reservation is now open. For those of you who are do-it-yourself tax preparers,
Cobb County Libraries are making available federal 2025 1040 tax forms and instruction booklets. Libraries are also offering free printing of federal and state forms up to 10 pages. Cobb County Libraries will be hosting a prom swap at 2 library locations this year. South Cobb Library is one of them on February 21st, and at the Schweitzer Library on February 28th. We're still taking donations of gently used or new formal attire until February 7th. Donations may be dropped off at 4 locations at the East Cobb Library, Schweitzer, Vinings, and Powder Springs. So what will happen is on February 21st, the teens can come in and find prom attire for free. So we're accepting prom dresses, suits for the young men, we're accepting jewelry, shoes, anything to make them dress up and for prom. So we're taking those donations at 4 locations. So the moment you've been waiting for is here. The Cobb County Public Library Spring Book Sale is back and will be held at the Cobb Civic Center Friday, March 13th through Sunday, March 15th. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sheila Edwards, and I'm here to raise a concern I have been sounding for more than a year. The City of Mableton lacks adequate policies and procedures for contract compliance, oversight, and accountability of public funds. This is pertaining to the complaint contract with Grice Consulting Group. The absence of a formal compliance framework does not excuse the city from its fiduciary responsibilities. Instead, it exposes a serious policy gap that demands immediate attention from city leadership and this council. Being a newer city cannot justify operating without clear standards, safeguards, or transparency. When those guardrails are missing, residents and subcontractors are vulnerable to abuse, and that is exactly what I believe has happened here. The issue goes beyond a private dispute. The city is a contracting authority. The city controls public funds, and the city bears ultimate responsibility for ensuring contracts are administered responsibly and ethically. I was named on a team for a city-funded contract valued at approximately $500,000 with responsibilities for community relations and communications, a role explicitly included in the proposal the city accepted. Shortly after the contract was awarded, the prime contractor restricted and ultimately denied my ability to perform that work. Despite repeated efforts to resolve this with city leadership, I was told incorrectly that the contractor could not reach me. When a meeting finally occurred, I was offered a narrow, short-term task instead of the full scope of work, and my assigned responsibilities were allegedly given to someone else. This situation persists because of a hands-off approach and a lack of enforceability with compliance standards. Informal conversations are not oversight, and relying solely on the contractor's account, particularly when that contractor is a government official elsewhere, is deeply troubling. Tonight, I'm formally requesting an independent review of this contract, and I'm also requesting that the council consider developing contract compliance and reporting requirements for city contracts, clear standards governing subcontracting, payment, and accountability, and that this be made retroactive for all contracts with Mableton.
I'm sorry, Mr. Edwards, time's up.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, are there any more?
She was our last speaker.
All right. Well, next we'll go to item 11, which is our consent agenda. Item 8, which consists of a review to review a summary of the appeal hearing conducted on December 9th, 2025 for Plaza Package. Item B, consideration and approval of an addendum to agreement to vacate 780 Concord Road, Silver Comet parcel between Greg Tothero and the city of Mableton. And item C is to the approval of the January 6, 2026 minutes.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Can I get a second?
Second.
The motion has been properly made and has been seconded by Councilwoman Brown. All in favor of approval of the consent agenda, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Next is item 12, any unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business on the docket? No, we don't. So we'll go on to new business. Item 13, starting with item 13A, the consideration and approval for Cobb County to proceed with recommendations for no parking zones along both sides of Alderman Trace and installation of street light districts for Avonbrook, Caldwell Park, and Ward Mills Farm. And City Manager Tanks, you have the floor.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. I do want to stress that the Ward Hill Farms is not located in the city of Mableton's boundaries. This is a request by the county for the council to approve some actions initiated by citizens. They submitted a petition, I believe it was for let's see which one. There's a petition to have no parking done, and I believe that was on the Alderman Trace, both sides.
Both sides.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And they cleared the threshold to get the petition done, but once the county realized it was in city limits, they didn't have the authority to just act without the council approving. So we're just recommending the council approves the allow the county to proceed with the recommendation of the no parking zones on Alderman Trace. And also for the Avonbrook and Cadwell, you have street lights that have been established by developers and kind of under that plate, but now that they've come under the, in the neighborhood, these street lights will now can be managed by the county. There's a certain fee for that street lights, and so again, they can't do that without council approval. So I am recommending that the council proceed with recommendations for no parking zones along both sides of Alderman Trace and the installation of streetlight districts for Avonbrook and Caldwell Park. And I would not include the word Ward Mills Farm.
Okay, all right. Well, Council, I'd like to entertain a motion to leave this. Oh, I'm sorry. Council, I'd like to entertain a motion for the consideration and approval for Cobb County to proceed with recommendations for no parking zones along both sides of Alderman Trace and installation of streetlight districts for Avonbrook, Caldwell Park.
I make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Isn't this the first read? Is it? Okay.
It's not an ordinance. It's an action item.
It's a, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's an action item, I'm sorry. Okay, all right. So next we proceed with item B.
Okay, sorry.
The consideration and approval.
No. You were right. We can do the motion.
Okay, well, what?
It's not a first read, it's not an ordinance,
It's a motion. Yep, you did a motion. Did you get a second?
Okay. So consideration and entertain a motion, or, okay, I thought I said that.
I second.
I made the motion.
All right.
You got a second. You just got to call the question.
Okay.
Y'all got to vote.
We got any discussion?
All right, so, no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None? The ayes have it. Okay, next item 13B, the consideration of resolution to pause issuance of alcohol service permits pending agreement or alternative lawful use. And this will be our business license supervisor, Lamaya Edmonds. You have the floor. Uh-oh.
evening, Mayor Pro Tem and members of the council. My name is Lamaya Edmonds. I am the business license supervisor. As mentioned, this item before you is for consideration of a resolution to temporarily pause the issuance of alcohol server permits and regulatory work permits. This would allow the city time to evaluate and formalize an appropriate agreement with police department, or to identify and approve an alternative lawful process consistent with the city's ordinances. Currently, the city code requires certain employees to obtain work or server permits issued by the police department. And while the community development department has established a compliant process using the Georgia Applicant Processing Services, also known as GAPS, the process has proven to be administratively burdensome to both staff and applicants, and it's just not sustainable in its current form. This resolution would authorize temporary pause in permit issuance without halting business operations. In other words, we'll be able to allow the applicants to continue to work because it's placing a considerable burden on them. The pause would remain in effect only until an agreement is formally established or an alternative lawful solution is approved by Mayor and Council. Staff recommends approval.
All right. Thank you. All right, so at this point, are there any questions? Any discussion? Okay. All right, then.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do have a question here because I don't know that I have enough information here. So, I mean, I guess number one, what would be an alternate solution to the issue that you're having? And then I guess it sounds like it's taking too long for these to be approved through the current process?
Yes, ma'am. So typically the applicants would apply for their server permits and they would undergo a background check. That is typically done through a police department. They have the ability to do those background checks pretty quickly. The city, without having a police department, has opted to use a third-party vendor, which is GAPS. That process is a little bit more convoluted than going to the police department and having them run a background check on the spot and having the server permits issued. So navigating that process with the volume of applicants, it's just very burdensome for them. They're not able to get through the process very quickly. It's more costly for them than it was in Cobb County, and it delays the process. So these are applicants that are waiting to go to work. They can't until they've been issued a server permit. So this would allow us to have a smooth transition as we figure out how to most appropriately handle this situation.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No other questions?
The wording on the second page, it makes the comment until and unless an agreement is established with a police department agency. I guess I just want to make sure what we're actually striving for.
Right, so the typical process, like I said, is the background checks are completed by a police department. Our goal here at the city is to find an alternative solution to that, so whether that is with an agreement that we are working with the city's attorney to kind of define, maybe with another local police department, with the county. It's just something that we've not been able to work out at this point. And we want to make sure that we provide the best service to our constituents.
So then people would still be able to operate even though they don't have?
Yes. So,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, if I could clarify, so multiple jurisdictions do exempt the server permit requirement. The intent here is not to exempt it within Mableton, but to temporarily suspend it. The reason being is that we are currently in service delivery strategy negotiations with the county. So it's in limbo a little bit as to whether the county will provide this service or whether the city will institute its own form of law enforcement and marshals to facilitate. And until we confirm those logistics, the request is to temporarily suspend the process because of the administrative burden on staff. But there are multiple jurisdictions who do not require this, so it's not uncommon for this not to be a requirement.
And I would add that we do have, just as far as responsibility goes, the licensee, like the license holder for the establishment's license, are responsible for compliance. So they're responsible for making sure that this establishment maintains safe and compliant operations. They have been and will continue to be responsible for that. Any further questions?
So they're still going to get so we're still issuing alcohol permits on the actual establishment, but we're suspending the actual permitting of the individuals working there?
Correct. So we'll issue the alcohol license to the establishment, and the employees are not required to have a permit at this time.
Let's make sure we say, he said we're still issuing permits. We're issuing license for the licensor. And these pouring permits are employees that work for the licensor. And so these people that have to get these permits have to get their job, they can't work, and so it's not required. We're making sure the licensee is being responsible. We're still giving out a license. As a matter of fact, kudos to our alcohol review department. I think out of the 100 or so licenses that have come to their office, this transition they made here recently, they have at least issued, I think, at least 96 of those or something like that.
We're up to 101 now. So we're one more hanging on, but we're getting there.
So they've got the license piece covered, but the rest was slowing us down, and this is for the pours, and they're going to put that responsibility now on the licensee, not the permit.
Thank you.
These individuals would still be subject to all handling requirements of the city of Mableton as well as the state of Georgia. So it wouldn't exempt them from any type of alcohol handling requirements that are in place.
All right. No more questions? All right. Thank you, Ms. Edmonds. So, that being said, I'd like to entertain a motion for the consideration of the resolution to pause issuance of alcohol service permits pending agreement or alternative lawful use.
I so move.
It has been so moved. Is there a second? Okay, it has been so moved and properly seconded by Councilman McNeely. All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. And next, item 13C is a first read, amending an ordinance updating Chapter 8, Buildings and Construction of the City of Mableton Code of Ordinances and Other Lawful Purposes. Mr. Silver, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. I'm doing the first read of Chapter 8, which we would like to get adopted, changed, amended, to actually get the permissive code of the International Property Maintenance Code adopted. And the reason being that we're going for this is because it'll give the same strength under the International Property Maintenance Code that the building code and the residential code gives to new construction. So instead of adopting 6 different codes, which would be the Uniform Building Conservation Code, the Neighborhood Conservation Code, and Apartment House and Hotel Safety Code, as well as the Uniform Housing Code, and the Uniform Code for Abatement of Dangerous Buildings, and the minimum standards for vacant structures and building security, the International Property Maintenance Code has all of those codes in one. So it'll help us bring residential as well as commercial existing properties into the standards that we want in the city of Mableton. It'll give the code officers the abilities with the intent of the property maintenance is to minimize the level of public health, safety, and welfare for neighbors. It will also help maintain property values and address dangerous and dilapidated buildings throughout the city, address public concerns, as well as reduce crime from blight throughout the city. For the landlords, it will give consistent application of the codes, because we will actually be not just enforcing one, but enforcing all of the codes to bring the commercial and residential properties up to the standards that we need in the city of Mableton. So the clarity for one code rather than several codes would be in place by adopting this code. Also, we will minimize the requirements for maintaining sanitary and safe structures throughout the city. For the tenants that live in multifamily, they would still use, they would have clear, identifiable knowledge of the codes that we are enforcing. So it would be in layman terms. It would tell them exactly what we can do and what we cannot do for them. The goal is to make all of the properties within the city of Mableton safe and sanitary environment. The two add-ons for the code that we're looking to change is how high the grass can grow in the city. That is in a separate amendment to the code that we would like to add, as well as how all of the heating units throughout the apartment complexes and rental properties have to maintain a minimum of 68 degrees. So that way we can ensure that the citizens that's paying their rent are getting heat and that they're living in a sanitary environment. Any questions?
So I had one question in regards to the sanitary environments. Where's that being discussed?
That's actually inside the International Property Maintenance Code, where it maintains that the owners must treat for rodents, and they must be sanitary, meaning the sewer must work, and that the windows must work. All of that's covered in the International Property Maintenance Code.
Okay, and so just from my understanding, so why does this specifically pull out the weeds and the heat supply? I'm just curious.
Right, because inside the code of the International Property Maintenance, they leave that up to the jurisdiction.
Okay.
As well as the maintenance of the heating units is also needs to be adopted, so that way we have it strengthened. Those two things are left up to the jurisdiction to adopt and amend.
Got it. Thank you.
Mr. Silver, my question is kind of related. I mean, even though I didn't hear the term, because this is affecting habitability, it looks like. And I know in times past, I've had conversations with a number of people who said one of the problems with the term was that there was no clear definition. So I'm trying to get to a point where when I talk to people, I can answer the question clearly in terms of how do we look at the term habitability. You know, what does that actually look like? I just looking for a kind of more of a definitive definition, so to speak. So, I mean, and this addresses that, but I mean, just to hear from you, you're the expert.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what this does, habitable homes meet a minimum standard. So you have to have good work, you have to have hot water, cold water, doors have to work, windows have to be repaired, property on the outside should be in good repair. Everything should work within that property. If you can't turn on lights and you can't find your way in there, that's an unsafe condition. Right. So if your air doesn't work and you can't open windows until they can fix that, that's an emergency repair. So habitable means that they should be able to enjoy, residents should be able to enjoy that property, and the bathroom should work, toilet should flush, every mechanical piece of equipment in that house, dishwashers, stoves, microwave, whatever comes with those apartments should work. That's what's considered habitable. Everything's supposed to be in good repair. If they have a sewer leak on the property, they're supposed to come in and sanitize the property, remove the carpet and the padding, clean the carpet thoroughly, and then put new carpet padding in. Mold should be treated. There should not be any mold growing in the unit. Those are all things that's considered habitable. So if we go into a unit and we see that those things are not working, then it's deemed uninhabitable. So they have to bring it up to the minimum standards of the code. And that's what the IPMC does. It helps us enforce the minimum standards.
Okay. So one other question. So let's say if an apartment is flooded and after remediation, is that checked after they do the remediation for the mold or possibility and that kind of thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
They have to check it, they have to make sure it meets the code, then we'll come out and make sure that there's nothing growing. So we do go out to make sure before and after to make sure that they're living in habitable homes.
All right.
And so to that point, what's the trigger for you all to go out?
We have to get a complaint. Once we get the complaint, not unless it's a vacant structure, we can go out without getting a complaint on the vacant structure. But we have to be invited in to the homes to make sure that they're livable. So if they don't call, we can't go in without a valid complaint.
Okay.
One other thing. So, in the case of, well, I'll ask like this. If you just say if you're not called, you can't go in. Well, we'll strike that because there really would be no way of knowing. I was trying to see if you have any kind of numbers in terms of finding dwellings that were uninhabitable, but you wouldn't know unless they called you to tell you. So
That is correct. Not unless it's vacant. Now, if it's vacant, that's a whole different story. We can go in, abate that, make them board it up, or if it's to that point, they have to either repair it or tear it down. Those would be their options on that. But to make it clear, if you live in a property, we can't come in unless you invite us. And that goes for the hotels as well. If we get a complaint on that and we're invited in by the tenant that's actually living in the hotel, then we can go on those as well.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And that was a first read, so no further action. Okay, let's go to item 13D, which is the consideration and approval of mayor to negotiate and execute in substantial form an agreement between the City of Mableton and CSC General Contractors, Inc. for municipal court interior renovations at 1245 Veterans Memorial Highway Southwest, Suite 30. And City Manager Tanks?
Yes, sir. I first want to thank the city attorney and city clerk for getting this on the agenda with you all today. This is exactly what I was speaking about earlier.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So.
No, that's okay. And I'm going to have Chad Kasdan come up front. This is exactly what I was speaking about earlier, trying to expedite and get this court renovation underway. There has to be a contract between the subcontractor and the city, and that is being worked on. And I think what we're doing here is asking the council to approve this, I guess, in what you call substantial form.
Yeah, just to give, so there's a couple of things that we need to work out, just as far as deliverables and timeframes, et cetera, and that should be easy for us to work out within 1, 2, 3 business days at the most. So the request is to authorize the mayor to further finalize, negotiate, and execute, but to just give him the flexibility to do that upon your approval tonight.
All right, all right. Well, Mr. Kastner, good to see you, and you have the floor.
So this is for the build out of the new Fort facility at. I didn't want to take your stuff. This is for the build out of the new court facility at 1245 Veterans Memorial. So this is a few doors down from City Hall. CSC General Contractors are the ones who did the beautiful work at the 6116 building that y'all have all seen. So we received 2 quotes from the building owner, and then we got a separate quote from CSC, and they came in about $100,000 less. So we're recommending awarding it to them. They've done a great job so far, so no hesitations, except just working through the contracts, which city attorney is working diligently with us getting through.
All right. Any questions, council?
I was just curious whether there are any like areas that is going to require quite a bit of negotiations, or are we pretty much there with what we need done?
I'm glad you asked that question. We've been kind of going back and forth on this thing for the last 3 months. Y'all know we had the court administrator come on sometime in October, and I think at that time y'all was asking when was the courts going to come up. So procurement got involved, and they have screened this thing down to the very fine details. And so I think what may be left, Ms. Herndon, shouldn't be anything that's major in terms of negotiation. We got 3 bids. This is the lowest. I won't say the cheapest, but it's the most responsive, and it's the lower than the other 2. That's what we were looking at, the price and the contractor. Details on what should be delivered in terms of indemnifying the city, all that kind of thing. That's just attorney language and contractor language, but nothing major that we're looking at.
Okay. Any further questions?
Thank you.
All right. Hearing none. Okay, item D, 13D.
Well, yeah, if we could, when the motion is made, if we could authorize the mayor or the mayor pro tem. I know the mayor is at a conference, and just in case he's unavailable, we would like to ask the mayor pro tem to execute. So if you can include both the mayor and mayor pro tem in the motion.
Okay, all right. Well, okay, I'd like to entertain a motion for the consideration and approval of the mayor or the mayor pro tem to negotiate and execute in substantial form an agreement between the City of Mableton and CSC General Contractors, Inc. for municipal court interior renovations at 1245 Veterans Memorial Highway Southwest, Suite 30.
So moved.
I get a second?
Second.
Well, okay, well. Ms. It's been properly second. Ms. Brown is closest to me. I heard her first, so it's been properly second. All in favor? Oh, no discussion?
No discussion.
Okay, all right. Well, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Casper. Next is item 14. We have any other business discussion? I don't think so. Item 15, city managers, announcements or comments. City manager, do you have any announcements or comments for us?
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem, I think I have one. And I'm actually looking for it. Okay, here it is. I actually just want to congratulate Ms. Herndon for her reelection. That's it.
Golf clap. All right, city attorney,
No comments, Mayor pro tem.
city clerk, you have any comments?
No comments.
Okay. Well, we'll start on, since I'm not first this time, we'll start with Councilman McNeely, District 2.
Okay. Yes, good evening, everyone. I want to thank my fellow Councilman Davis, for collaborating with me for the first town hall of the year. We had our town hall last night on Lions Club Drive, and great participation and feedback. We had a lot of quality individuals come and speak. Major Knobloch of the Cobb County Police Department, Sheriff Owens was in attendance and spoke. Trey Hutchins, one of our school board members, Representative Terry Cummings, who also was in attendance and spoke, and want to thank City Manager Tanks and the other staff members for the City of Mableton who were there in support. I also want to thank Director Silver, Code Enforcement, who made the presentation for us. And we heard from Mayor Owens as well. And so this is just the first of many, and each of us, I know, are working on different things within our districts to make sure that we are collaborating with you who support us and voted for us and working with us to make this city great. And so we're excited about what is to come, and again, appreciate the attendance and the good discussion we had last night in our first town hall with Councilman Davis. Thank you.
Councilwoman Jeff Colt, District 3.
Good evening, everyone. I think I'm going to have to use the staff's time because I have a lot to put out. Where's Allison? She here?
Yeah, probably upstairs.
Okay. Well, I had a presentation, but Allison's not here, so I'll just...
Yeah.
Oh, there she goes. She's getting our food. mean. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Good evening, everyone. As always, thank you guys for coming out in the cold weather. It's a little cold in here, as my council members have reminded me. And I'm excited that you're here. You see the progress we've made as a city, and it's appreciated. I just want to share a few updates for District 3. You know, these are some of the items that I've heard from our residents, some of the feedback, and you know, our community has really been giving me a lot of input, so I'm really appreciative of that. When the first slide comes up, it's going to say slow down. For me, one of the most important priorities in District 3 is community safety. Since I've been in office, we've actually had 2 pedestrian deaths that I know of, including one that recently happened yesterday on Queen Mill Road. It's currently still under investigation, and my condolences certainly go out to the family and loved ones. You know, these kinds of incidents, you know, remind us that safety isn't just a talking point. It's a matter of life and death, and it's many of these incidents that we have are preventable. They require us, you know, just simply to slow down, stay alert, and, you know, don't treat our roads as thoroughfares, but as a shared community space. That's vitally important. People are walking, they're biking, you know, they're crossing the street, they're going to schools, and all they want to do is go to work and go home. And so I just want residents to look out. That's the last slide, actually. Yeah. And so I just want to make sure that we are mindful of that. Some of the things that we're working on for District 3 is some calming measures as far as traffic signs are concerned. So I think that might be something that is needed on Queen Mill Road, as well as improved crosswalk visibility. We need better lighting, not just on Queen Mill Road, but just in District 3 and throughout Mableton as a whole. And as I mentioned earlier, many of these situations are preventable. And I just want us to make sure that we stay alert, and that we're not on our cell phones, that we're using hands-free devices, those sorts of things, and just you know, being mindful of the speed that we're going, not just in District 3, but also in the city of Mableton. Okay? So we had our listening session about 2 weeks ago. I thought it went really well. I had an opportunity to get a pulse on what some of that community feedback was. It was a virtual listening session. I would like more engagement, and so I decided that this will be a monthly meeting that I'll have. The next virtual listening session will be February 10th. So please certainly watch my social media. I'll put out information there. Would love for you all to join. You don't just have to be in District 3, but I would love for you to at least be a part of the listening session. I consider the feedback a gift, good or bad. So please, you know, make sure you sign up to come to the next listening session. So these are pictures that were captured from District 3. As you can see, this is trash that was left out. So there's been a lot of illegal dumping, trash, litter, and just the overall general cleanliness of District 3 as well as Mableton. Residents are getting frustrated. We all care about our community. We care about how it looks. So that we can set the standards, we can enforce them, and we can protect the quality of life for every resident. I do want to take a point of privilege to thank the hard work that the Keep Mableton Beautiful team has been doing, specifically Barry Krebs, Robin Myers, and the entire Keep Mableton Beautiful team. I do want to acknowledge the work that our code enforcement director, Jerry Silver, and his team are doing. They are doing everything they can to identify that illegal dumping, following up on complaints, and making sure that we hold these violators accountable. His team is committed to compliance, and so I just want to thank him and everyone that's involved with making sure that we police up our community. Bottom line, don't throw trash out into our community. That's just bottom line. So this is a new development in District 3. We've seen a lot of growth. Last week, this grand opening in Mableton Station, I want to thank Councilwoman Brown for going there to the opening. It's a 3 to 4 bedroom single family home as well as townhomes. And we want to welcome them to the city of Mableton. Obviously, we want responsible development, but we're happy to see there's a housing insecurity that's happening nationwide, and so it's good to know that we have homes and folks can purchase them. As I mentioned, at 3 to 4 single-family homes as well as townhomes. So we are having Mableton Day at the Capitol. That's going to be next week. I can't even believe it's already been a year since we had the inaugural Mableton Day. It's been a year. Exactly. And we had over 100 people attend last year, community leaders, lawmakers. We had a chance to observe the legislative sessions. We were formally recognized, and it just reinforces that we have a voice as a city, even though we're an emerging city. And the General Assembly is in session now, so we'll get an opportunity to go there again. It's not open to the public as of yet. Just be on the lookout. By Friday, we'll know if it's open to the public, but I just wanted to put that information out there. But we'd love for you to attend and be a part of Mableton Day at the Capitol. So I'm not sure if you all are familiar with SPLOST, Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax. But it's that time again for the renewal. It's a way that we're able to fund major infrastructure improvements like roads, parks, facilities, things of that nature. And so we're partnering with Cobb County on some of these SPLOST engagement meetings. There've been a few already. And so there's one tomorrow that's going to be at Fuller's Recreation Center. I believe that's in Marietta. But there will be one at the Smyrna Community Center, which is a little bit closer, on February 25th. I would encourage you to come out and look at what's on the SPLOST project list for Cobb County. We've gone through preliminary lists for the city of Mableton, and so eventually we'll be able to finalize what our list looks like, but we have some big bucket items. We'll have a table set up at all these meetings, so if you have any questions or concerns about SPLOST, certainly make sure to attend one of these engagement meetings. There's going to be a joint town hall. I don't think you want to miss this one. This is with our county chair as well as our mayor. It's important because it's going to give you an opportunity to speak up. I believe this is going to be held on the 4th.
Yes.
And so discussions are going to be service delivery strategy. We'll also talk about intergovernmental agreements in addition to special service districts as well as public safety and essential services. So I would encourage you, to bring someone with you to talk about the policing, infrastructure, funding, and all those kinds of things. Bring a neighbor. It's a critical conversation that we need to have, so make sure you're able to come out to this meeting. This is my newsletter, District 3 newsletter. You can scan it. This was for January. These letters will be released the first week of each month. When you scan the QR code, up at the top left, it'll say subscribe. You can subscribe to the newsletter and get updates, particular for this district as well as for the city of Mableton. Next. The next meeting will be February 9th for our work session and February 11th for our city council meeting. And going into Black History Month, I love quotes. So Shirley Chisholm said, public service is the rent that we pay for room on this earth. And so it's important that we continue to get involved, we continue to serve our community. And speaking of serving our community, one of our nonprofit agency, Family Life Restoration Center, Luther and Angela, they do a great job in our community. And I do want to thank everyone who got up and spoke on behalf of, the cold weather and this inclement weather. We have those that are experiencing housing insecurity and they're in the cold. It's cold in this room, right? And so imagine being out there all the time. In the military, we have what's called bivouac, and when you're out on FTXs, you're in the cold, and it is freezing. And so just be cognizant and mindful of that, and anything that we can do to support nonprofit organizations like Family Life Restoration, we want to make sure that we offer up that support. That's me. That's my social media. Please follow me, Keisha from Mableton on Instagram, and Councilwoman Jeffcoat on Facebook. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Councilwoman Brown, District 4.
District 4,
Yes.
That's it, that's me. Well, actually, I have a presentation, but I don't know where Jasmine is. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, while we were waiting, I just want to thank all of you troopers for, it's 9 o'clock, so, and it's cold out, and so I thank you all for being here with us. I heard somebody say they're ready to go. I'm gonna be brief. No? Oh, well, okay. First of all, I would just want to make everyone aware of 2 key meetings that are actually coming up tomorrow that definitely pertain to District 4 especially, but all of Mableton. So number 1, tomorrow, there is a meeting to discuss improvement of the east-west connector. And you can find that information if you go out to mableton.gov. There's that it is on the calendar, if I'm not mistaken. Also, it's on my social media. This is a meeting that Cobb DOT is putting together. I know that the traffic situation on the East-West Connector has been a topic of conversation, and so this is the beginning of looking at how the county can start to address that. So that's one thing. The second thing is also tomorrow, and you can get this information from my social media, but there is a meeting, a Zoom call at 6 p.m., if I'm not mistaken, and it is the Georgia Department of Resources, and there is a Zoom call about Compass Chemical Plant. This is the chemical plant that is located at the corner of Buckner Road and Oakdale Road. And the chemical plant's been there for, I think, more than 60 years, is my understanding. And they are expanding their operation, and so this involves a draft proposal for air quality permit. So definitely, if you live near that area, you know, in District 4, it's of concern, but frankly, I think would be of concern for everyone in Mableton. I will attend the call. It's virtual, and I'll produce a report and put it out for everyone. So I just wanted to bring those 2 things to your attention. And then finally, I just want to come over the top of the comments that Councilwoman Jeffcoat made about our community partners, such as the Family Life Resource Center, that we know is out there addressing our homeless or unhoused population. There are other nonprofits out there I know as well that are doing this important work, and I would just ask everyone, if you have the wherewithal to provide a donation to those organizations. I know Hope Family Life is also, now there's a presentation. But I know that Hope is also collecting for unhoused folks as well. So just let's lift up our community by helping out our nonprofits And I think that's it for my comments. Please sign up for my my newsletter. I am putting out a newsletter each month. I've already submitted my newsletter content for the month of February. You can go to mableton.gov. You can sign up for my newsletter, anyone else's newsletter. Also, any information that you're looking for regarding the meeting notes, the agendas, all of it is right there. So thank you all and have a great night.
Yes, thank you. As always, you get to the end and everybody's already said anything. But there is one thing I want to point out. I'm especially excited. The nonprofit Cobb Collaborative came to me and said they were doing this wellness walk. Well, on top of the wellness walk, the Discovery Park is going to get some really, really cool murals, and they're going to be focused on mental health at all stages of life. So starting with our youngest up through our adults. They came to me and said, hey, will you partner with us? Will you help us out? All that sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to coming out there on Saturday, February 7th. Hopefully I'm not going to freeze at 10, and I invite you all to come with us. And the topic is really going to be around this wellness walk and mental health in the Mableton area as a whole. If you'd like to contribute to the walk and talk, reach out to the Sustainability, I call it SWB, Sustainability Waste and Beautification Group. I'm all Team Emily, she's not here though. At sustainability@mableton.gov, you can get more information. But as the saying goes, don't meet me there, beat me there. Enjoy yourselves and try to stay warm in this weather. Yes, definitely shout out to the Family Life Restoration Center, and whatever we can do, I need that QR code so that I can make my little donation. But if you can make a donation, please do.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Ferguson, District 6. I mean, I married you to it is late, y'all. Councilwoman Herndon.
Sorry, honey. Sorry, honey.
District 6.
That is funny. Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to make this short because I know everyone's ready to get home. I want to thank all of you all for being here, and we have 5 people that are viewing us online today. Thank you all for tuning in. I wanted to thank our Magistrate Court Judge, Judge Correct, for swearing me in today. I know he's gone. I appreciate him coming out, and for my daughter being here as well. Appreciate that. As Council Member Ferguson said, usually by the time we come to the end, everything has been touched. The 2 things that I wanted to flag for everyone is the Cobb DOT meeting regarding the East-West Connector improvements. I just wanted to add, for those of you who may not have seen it posted, that is going to be at the Connection Point Church of God Fellowship Hall, and that's at 888 East-West Connector, and that will be tomorrow, and the time is from 5 to 7. For those of you who are available, please come out and see what Cobb County has in mind for that corridor. And then I definitely want to remind everyone, if you are able to attend the joint town hall that is going to be on February 4th at the Police Public Training Facility on East-West Connector. This is a really important meeting regarding SDS. This is an opportunity for you to get your questions asked and answered, and for your voice to be heard on this matter. And thank you for all of those who voted for me. Funny thing, I was thinking, since I ran unopposed, I remember waking up one morning because I had a dream that I didn't vote and no one else voted for me either. And I kind of wondered, like, if that happened, like if you're unopposed and you don't vote for yourself and no one votes for you, what happens then? That was my question, so maybe our city attorney can answer that for me, because it's been on my mind since I had that dream. So anyway, thanks for everyone for being here, and have a pleasant night, and be safe going home.
Well, and you're right, everything pretty much has been said, but I still want to give a shout out to Family Life Resource Center. I mean, you guys, excellent job. I really encourage the community to support their efforts. They've been here for a long time, have done excellent work. And the only other thing, and congratulations again, Councilwoman Herndon. But and I just want to say this too. I spent a lot of my career in banking. Did a lot as a lender, did a lot of financial education, home ownership, that kind of thing. The crisis we're facing right now, because I'm looking at how cold it is, and when you drive through, sometimes I hate to drive through Atlanta or even some parts of our city and see homeless people out there living in the woods. And you know, I still say, but by the grace of God, there go I. This is a crisis. It is something that some people try to make it seem like it's something that you can easily fix, and it's not. It's very, very, very complicated. Luckily, my career has given me the opportunity to look at these problems from the top down. And I stay hopeful, and I'm almost positive that this is something that can be fixed, but it's going to take well, I'm not going to get myself in trouble, so I'm going to say it like this. It's going to take the will, it's going to take some vision, some imagination, collaboration, and cooperation. I will say this, and I've said it again. We live in the richest country on this planet. And every time I see a person living under a bridge, every time I see a person living in the woods, it breaks my heart. But I stay and will always remain hopeful that someday people of like mind and goodwill will be able to solve this problem. And I hope that I can be a part of that, because I have some great ideas. It's just that getting the people together to say, let's attack this, let's deal with this problem. So with that, I'm going to say, stay hopeful, keep your neighbors lifted up, keep this country lifted up, keep this nation lifted up. We still have some problems we have to overcome. And everyone have a great night, stay warm out there, and keep the faith. Thank y'all for coming, and
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion has been properly made and seconded by Councilman McNeely, and this meeting is hereby adjourned.
We got to vote.
We got to vote. Okay, that's right. See, y'all rushing me so fast, huh? Okay, so all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Say nay. None? Okay, this meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you for coming.